It's weird that the brain just doesn't always work exactly how you want it to.
And honestly, chess is one of the worst things to do sleep deprived, because I think creativity usually is enhanced when you're not feeling well, when you're sleep deprived. But that's generally not what you need in chess. Like, you need to minimize mistakes. You need precision, and all of my intuition, all of that is just so much worse when I'm not feeling on top of my game. So,
do you have a specific thing you do when you're feeling not on top of your game? Do you like double check things in your mind? Do you have a process you follow?
I just try to play like a simpler game where it's not as complicated, really.
And when you're feeling good, then you go for it.
No, honestly, when I feel like good, I don't think about these things. It's just a state of flow where I know how much risk to take. Like I just, yeah.
So what is the mindset? Like, if you're in a world championship game and it's down to these, like, what is the state of mind like when you're in the middle of it?
Honestly, when I'm at my best, I'm just like pure laser focused, and I'm just calm and not thinking about anything other than
just in the moment.
Just in the moment, yeah.
Just in the work is already done. You already know the game, so now it's just reacting and moving and calculating.
Yeah, I mean, I had a game in last Classical World Championship I played in 2021 where the first 5 games were drawn. Honestly, like, I could have probably been down at that point as well. 6th game was a super, super long game, almost 8 hours. And I think for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, I was pretty short on time. But I remember, like, I was just so focused and so calm. And afterwards, I was just like, yeah, I could have kept going forever. Like, I was just there. And it was exactly what I needed. I ended up grinding out a win, and in those classical games, like, once you get a lead, like, that is so big because it's so hard to actually win games at that level with that level of preparation. So that was really big. But yeah, I've only had, I feel like, a few days where I feel like I'm just like completely in the moment. Usually it's a bit more messy than that, but like when it happens, it's just, the best feeling.
That's amazing that it's only been a few days where you've been fully in the moment.
I'm rarely happy after I play. I'm happier now. Like, I'm honestly, like, my standards for myself like are a little bit lower, have gone down a little bit the older I've gotten. Because I sort of accept that I don't have, my brain is not as fast as it used to be. So I'm going to have occasional letdowns. So my top level is, like, I think as good as it's ever been, or at least very, very close to. But like the average level is just too hard when your brain is not that fast anymore. But yeah, generally I'm always thinking, well, yeah, I could have always done something better. Like, you always miss some things, but I always feel like, yeah, there are avoidable mistakes that I'm still making.
So have you ever consulted a mental coach or, someone who works with people on mindsets to try to capture what is happening when you are in that complete total flow state of laser focusedness and try to recreate that? Because there's a bunch of different mind coaches that will tell you for a bunch of different pursuits that what you have to do is, when you get to that state, whatever that state is, recognize that you're there and then try to get a map of the territory and try to will yourself back into that thing. But then there's another school of thought that says, no, it just has to happen organically. And that you just need to be obsessed and focused and take care of yourself and meditate, and just when it comes, it's going to come. But you have to accept that it's a gift and it's just not always going to be there.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the latter camp. I've talked to people who have suggested mental coaches like plenty of times, both in the past and more recently as well. I've just like always been worried that somebody's gonna mess something up in my head.
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, that's really what it is for me. So I feel at some point I'm just like more or less content with the way things are, that most days that I'm playing, I'm going to be fairly good. On some days, I'm going to be at my very best. At other days, I'm going to be very far from my best. And it's sort of, yeah, it's sort of the way it is. I'm definitely much more open to doing things to prevent me from having those very worst days, because those are the ones that really hurt you, especially now that we're playing a lot of faster tournaments where there are knockouts, where basically like if you have one bad day, you're out and it doesn't matter. Like back in the days with classical tournaments, like you could have a really bad day, but then you can always bounce back. But nowadays it's not that easy.
Do you ever try to map out what are the factors that lead you to hit that state, that flow state? Do you ever try to think about your day? Like, what did I do? What did I eat? How did I sleep? Did I avoid toxic people around me? Did I stay offline? Like, what did I do that allowed me to get to that spot?
Yeah, I mean, doing everything sort of right before the game definitely helps. Like getting good sleep, like reading a book instead of being on some sort of device before I go to sleep. Then just focusing as little as possible on chess before the game, definitely.
Really, little as possible.
Yeah,
because you want it to be fresh in your mind. You want it to be something exciting.
Yeah, I just want to have like 2 or 3 ideas of what I'm going to play, and not like I just don't want to like use mental energy that I could have used on the game before.
Right.
So I think one of my better tournaments that I played, I used to play every year at this seaside resort in the Netherlands, and it's in the middle of winter, so it's not very resort-like. It's just rainy and windy, and there's basically nothing there except this big tournament that's been there for 80 years, and it's for 3 weeks every January. So for me, there's not a lot to do. So what I would do like every day is I'd wake up, I'd go for a walk, and then I would watch like 30 to 45 minutes of NBA highlights from the day before. Look at chess for 15 minutes, whatever my coach has sent me of preparation that we discussed the day before. Eat and then go play. And that worked really, really well. It's just keeping it as simple as possible, honestly.